Cool. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Yeah, we'll have a look when you get the thing. See you, mate. Right, guys, I'm going to dive out this this chat while we're commentating, and I'll catch you all in a bit. Good luck, guys. Right, ladies and gents, round 3, GTS at Interlagos in sunny Brazil. 7:15 start, which is interesting. The sun does make a difference around here. There's some of the tight corners. Hopefully we'll have as close and clean a race as we had in D1. It was certainly fun one to be part of. Let's see how the start goes. We've got AJ doubling up today. He's driving in both classes. There's a little bit of creeping on the start. Everyone's away. Phil Babbage is off the front with Marco running second. Dr. Robotson's second now. Oh, first corner, we've got a few off. We've got a few off first corner. Marty Bananas being one of them. Oh well, that must have been a practice start. There you go. Well, there's practice commentary as well for anyone that was watching. Back in on the spectate menu. Just checking on comments from all you watchers. So let us know during the race, guys. There's what do you think of the commentary? We're still earning second one, tied after a race. We'll see what this second race brings. The first race was very clean from what we saw. There was a little bit of carnage at the end, but on the whole, a good race. Just see how many we've got. As I say, it looks like we've only got 12 starters at the minute, so that'll be a good battle, I would imagine, for the last points, with there only being 2 people who are going to miss out. We're hoping to have a second commentator, the infamous Rod Hammerbush. He'll be with us at some point in the stream if we've got enough space, with drivers not being in. Just waiting for a couple of drivers to enter. And then I believe the next start will be the actual race start. It's this section here where the sun's right down in your eyes that gets you out, it throws your braking points and your turning points off. It took a while to get used to it the first start. Got a couple of drivers doubling up between D1 and D2 today due to absences. Martin Bananas was last minute entry into D1 today. Driving for Raven West, he's back in his regular Corvo West seat today. Filled in for Maximus. AJ, I'm not sure who AJ replaced in the D1 race, but he doubled up as well. It does look like we've only got 12 starters going to make the start today. Drivers to check in or not. There's Martin. Martin's one of the drivers I say that has done his second race of the day, so he's going to have certainly be taking advantage of the team hospitality. Good driver, solid driver. He's had a good run in the first race. It looks like this is the race start for which is great to start the final. So let's see how we go. Got 13 viewers now. Good to see you all. It's going to be an interesting run. We've got Phil Beveridge on pole, Pitch Black second, Tom third, Marco fourth, then Max, Fifi, Tim, Robot in eighth. I'll give you a full rundown. Jax, Doc Coop, BJ Robbo, Martin Bananas and AJ. AJ's another one of the drivers who drove in the D1 race today as well. Good driver, very, very good on tyres. And we're away. We're away at the start. Let's jump back up to the... Are we going to get some carnage down into turn one, or are we going to get a clean run through? Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Tom's taking a route across there. He did get a slight tap, so I think he's clean there really. And at the moment, yeah, we've a good run through. So we've got Phil off in front at the moment. There you go. Phil's away with Tom in second. Doc Coop. We've got a great battle here. I say battle, good team effort, taking all first three places at the moment, which is be good for the team championship at the end of the season. I believe the top team from this championship gets promoted to D1, I believe. at the end of the season, and the lowest scoring team gets, I don't like the term demoted, but brought down. There'll be the swap over in the top and the bottom place. But Phil's having a good run, so he's put 1.2 into Tom on the first lap, which is a good result so far. I'm just going to bring the team entry list up. And also the results screen, so we can keep an eye on who's top at the moment. Let's just dive on quick. We're just going to have to invite, we've got a second commentator coming in to join us. About a second, sorry about this, guys. I'll be with you 1 sec. There we go. No change. So at the minute we still have got a top. So Phil's away with it at the moment. He's now 1.5 with Tom, Doc Coop, Marco, Pitch Black, Fifi Jacks, BJ Robbo is in 8th, in front of Robot, Martin Bananas, Max and AJ Wynn. We've had someone in the pits already, but Max in the pits. I presume that is for a damage, but AJ's just come out of the pit. AJ tried this tactic in the first race as well. He pitted very early. I'm not sure if that was due to damage or not in this round, because they're now 15 seconds behind Martin and Dr. Robot, who's going very slow. Has Robot suffering damage? No, he's not. He's just taking a very steady run there.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Sorry I'm late to the party. Traffic.
No problem, Rod. No problem, Rod. It's I know you've got a long drive between your race manager's seat and also your commentary position.
Yes, it's a good 10-metre walk, and then I've just blue screen.
There you go.
So I will be 2 seconds.
Let's jump back up the front and see where we're at with this. This is a great team effort from the Tag Heuer guys here. They're away with a 1-2-3 and closing up as well. It's going to get tight with them. They're away at the moment. They've got Doc Coop's got 5.8 seconds, just under 6 seconds advantage over Marco at the moment. There's been a little bit of contact at the back. I think it was just I don't think there was anything in it. I think Marco went slightly wide, Pitch came up the middle, but they've both picked up 0.5 second penalties now, which will Pitch Black's already scrubbed part of his, who's got Fifi very, very close behind him. Gone for a tight move up there, but Pitch is doing well. It's the right thing to probably scrub his penalty now rather than carry it through to the end of the race. Get rid of it early. There's a lot of further into the race you probably have taken that and let the penalty run till the end. Let's jump back up the top again. These are away. I would imagine that there's going to be no real team orders this early on to the season. Tim's left the chat and left the room. I don't know whether he's had a connection issue. But you've got the 3 Tag Heuer guys out front. Let's dive back down. There's a little bit more of a battle here now. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. You've got Max and BJ Robbo in a battle, and then Pitch and Fifi as well, close together. So there's a couple of good mid-pack battles going on here. And you've also got Jax.
I shall be back in a minute. I'm going to have to restart everything. I've completely blue screened.
No worries. We've then got Martin in 9th, Robot in 10th, AJ, let's say after that pit stop, the gap, he's already taken, you can see from AJ's time, 31.8, this early in the race is very, very quick. He's pulling that gap back nicely. That was 15 seconds when he came out of the pits. I believe we've got Ash in with us as well, who's just fresh from his D1 drive. I must admit, Ash, I don't know quite how it went for you earlier on.
Yeah, well, I got taken out at the end of that one, and it was just a bit of a recovery drive from there.
The fight back from there.
Yeah, so but pulled off a great move around the outside of back bus towards the end of that race. So I was happy to get P9 in the end. But it was a bit of a tough day from down the back.
it's solid points. I mean, I would imagine these three are just trying to gap the rest of the field at the moment out front. I mean, they've pulled the gap out to 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's a considerable
9 seconds
gap
behind.
early on.
It is very much so. It's a very manageable gap. They're swapping places a little bit at the moment. Doc Coop's just taken second from Tom. I would imagine they're all on the same strategy. Yeah, we're now up to just over 9 seconds now. They're starting to pull this back a little bit. They've just taken about half a second off in sector 3. BJ Robbo's in a good fight with Marco for 4th. We'll just stick in and watch this one a little bit. I do apologise again, guys. I've got to learn the replay section this week. Would have been able to have a look back and see where AJ was in the pit so early. Although he did pull a similar strategy in the D1 race earlier on as well. A little bit of a tap there from Marco on the way through, but they both held it. But Pitch Black has spun. Oh, he's saved it. He's managed to hold it. I don't think there was a great deal in that, but there was a little bit of contact on the way into that corner there. So BJ Robbo's having a good run in 5th at the moment. Just want to look a bit further down. So you got 6th, 7th and 8th with Pitch, Jax and Fifi are all fairly close. Which we'll just sit in and watch this battle for a bit. You've got three very competitive drivers here. They're quite solid. There's not a lot of unnecessary risks taken, but they're also the same way, and they're not afraid to put a move on one of the other drivers as well.
Oh, there's about to be a move for the lead. Doc Coop is about to overtake Phil Babbage down the inside into the centre S, and it's done.
I would imagine at the moment these two just are working this between us. There'll be a group chat somewhere, and they may as well just gap the rest of the field. I mean, they're up to 10 and a half seconds now, which is nearly, if they wanted to, I would imagine that's heading towards. It was certainly very, very quick, but very, very nearly a free pit stop. I would imagine if they can get that up to 17, 18 at the time of stop in the first race, that it will give them a good chance to pit and take full advantage of that. And I think they're only going to increase this gap even further. Tom's just dropping off the back of him a little bit now. He's just dropped back to about 1.2 off, and he could be there could be a slight strategy difference. They're all. Tom's tyres are actually very similar to Doc Coop's. Phil's a little bit heavier on his front tyres than the other two, so I would imagine that Tom's going to pull this gap back very, very slowly and come back in on the front of them. And then you've
BJ Robbo and Mark still having a good battle here for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, and Pitch Black's not a million miles off the back of it as well. There is only just over a second and a half covering all three of these. This is where the action is at the moment. And if you look in the background, you've also got Jax and Fifi. They're not a million miles away. Jax is only 1.7 off the back of Pitch, and Fifi's less than a second. Well, it may have increased. Jax has just had a little spin. But there could be a 5-way battle here for 4th in the next couple of laps, depending on what they do with regards to pit stops.
Well, I'm now in and actually watching Jeff, so I can see what's going on now.
I'm glad we have you with us today, Rod. Max is just off. He's quite way off the back. He's like 27 seconds off the back of Robot now, who's just under 4. AJ, whether it was a damage-induced pit stop or a tactical pit stop like he played in the first race, I believe he pitted quite early in that as well. He's
Max
now
off.
Max is off. Max is off. That gap's only going to increase. But Robot's now got 4 seconds back off AJ. I'd expect AJ to move forward. He's now
up the second.
4.9 behind Martin and setting purple sectors. Doc Coop's made a break off the front. He's now 3.5. We've had Tom has just picked up a penalty, and second from Phil. I know Phil's tyres are wearing.
There was contact there.
There may have been contact between teammates there. If you look at Tom's car, Tom has front and rear contact, and so does Phil.
I think they've went a bit tit for tat there.
I think we've had contact between the teammates,
Doc
which is not going to go down well. Both Doc and Doc and Phil have both on it. They're all three of them in. All three of the Tag Heuer cars are in. We'll be out of time here. They went in. We've got the top 5.
Doc Cooper's tyres only.
I've got the top 7 now. It looks like the whole field's on the same strategy, which is going to mean that the Tag Heuer guys are going to come out with a big advantage. I know the 2 of them have got damage to repair, but they are going to come out hopefully holding off that advantage that they took in, which I believe is nearly 15 seconds. It's showing BJ Robbo on super softs, which is odd because I thought that
no, super softs should not be on there. This is all very
let's just
confusing.
Let's just have a jump down.
Yeah, I can see BJ Robbo on supers.
BJ Robbo's on supers. We'll need to have a look into that at the end because the supers shouldn't be. We have got Jax has gone out on mediums. Max is on mediums. There's a couple of them gambling with a medium tyre. I've not run on it. I don't know how competitive it is. But Doc Coop now is away with a 9.5 seconds lead over Tom, which if he manages his gap properly, could be a controllable gap till the end.
I do believe he didn't do a fuel stop now. That was just purely tyres. But I know that the other 2 had damage to repair, so that probably explains that gap a little bit.
Tom's picked up a bit more of a penalty now. Tom's now got a 2.2 second penalty, which has mean Phil's going to take him on the stagger. Whether he lets that run till the end of the race or loses a little bit with corner by corner. They've now got a 4-second lead over Pitch Black, who is now 6.7 seconds in front of Marco, so it's all starting to settle down a little bit in the mid-pack. But you've still got Marco, BJ Robbo, AJ and Fifi in, although Pitch has just taken his first pit stop.
BJ Robbo's in the pits. I think he must be changing that, taking them supers off and putting the softs on. Obviously
we'll have a look. Let's just have a look on. Let's find where Robbo is.
Yeah, he's in 9th at the moment. Fueling. Yeah, he's fueling.
He's busy fueling.
He has his pitted. He must have realised his mistake and went out on the back on the right tyre.
It's a good move. Good move. So Phil's now in 3rd with 10, nearly 11 seconds over Marco, who's got a 2-second lead over AJ. I'd expect that gap to come down. AJ's had an extended practice run in with the D1 position as well, and you've got Fifi behind him, so although they're both teammates as well, I don't think there'll be a great deal of fight. You would think that Fifi will sit in and let AJ tow him up to the higher places. And we've got Martin now in 7th, who's closed that gap down quite a lot. He's still taking time out of Fifi now. He's taking...
Yeah.
Martin's really bringing this down. This is going to be the battle at the moment, 5th, 6th, 7th. Martin's taking about half second out from just in sector 2. And Pitch has scrubbed this penalty.
And let you know if there's any moves being made.
Okay, Pitch has scrubbed this penalty now. He's taken all that time out. Just having a quick dive up to the front and see where we're at. The gap between Tom and Doc Coop is coming down. It's coming down from 9 to 5 seconds now.
I think Martin is going to attempt to move on Fifi now. He's got it down to 0.2 of a second. He's well within range to make a move. He's going round the outside on the main straight.
He's been set wide.
I was just going to report that Tom's picked up more with penalties now, up to 2.6 seconds worth of penalties.
Lovely. Oh, it's going to be tight coming through here.
Close, that's close.
Two cars through there. It's very tight. There's mild contact, but they both got through it. They both got through it. There was a good move there by Martin. They're both through.
I'll keep track of this one. I do believe that this is going to be a fight that's going to go on for a couple of laps.
AJ's back in the pits. He's just come out, so the first stop must have been a damage stop, and he's now back on. He could possibly do another 2 stops for me if he stops again at lap 20. That'll give him his 3 stops for the race. Robot's in the pits, come out on mediums with full fuel. This could be a 2-stop strategy with a soft first and third stint. Be interesting to see how that strategy pays out. He's got a 12-second. He's going to pull away from Max. He's now straight back into 13. We'll keep an eye on the fact he's got 22 seconds to the back of Jax at the moment. Let's dive right back up to the top.
Fifi's extending. I was just about to say Fifi was extending that gap to Martin, but Martin's closed it up again. Within 6/10 of a second, it's within half a second.
Yes, we'll see. Watch this battle for a bit. They're holding the gap to Marco as well at 3.8. Tyre wear is very comparable. Martin's slightly lighter on fuel.
That could be what's giving them that extra kick down the straights.
The BMW is a quick car. There's not a great deal to choose between them. Going into the Senna S's.
I know somebody that loves the BMW. Do you, Jeff?
I do. It's a very popular car amongst certain people. Just dive back up to the top now. I think Doc Coop's got a very manageable gap. Is that to say Tom's picked up another penalty? He's now got a 2.3 second penalty, which is going to give, I don't know, obviously it's not just going to add 2.3 seconds to Doc's time. There'll be more than that. By the time you take the penalty and then accelerate back up, this could give Doc another best part of 3 seconds advantage over his two teammates, which is still going to be a very, very solid result for the Tag Heuer guys today.
AJ is under a second behind pitch black now. I've got a funny feeling that we're going to see a move made there at some point.
Let's jump back to here. Let's jump back to here, then see where AJ is going to come from. I'll say AJ's run.
The BM's very, very good in a straight line as well.
It's a very fast straight line car. You can see that AJ's pulling back. He's 5 tenths under in sector 2. The slipstream's obviously taking advantage, but we could see the first sub 31 second lap of this race. He set his fastest lap on lap 3 of a 31.8.
Oh, Martin's
out.
Oh no.
Let's jump back, it's fine, right?
And he's through.
Must have had a disconnect.
AJ's up to 6th.
Oh, that's such a shame. Such a shame. He was having a good solid result there in the mid-pack. So now we're back up to where we were before the first round of pit stops, with the last of the Tag Heuer cars has now got a 16 second advantage over Marco, who's got 3.2 back to Fifi, who's got 3.8 back to AJ, which is the battle I think they're going to come. AJ's going to pull this gap back.
I don't think Fifi will stand in AJ's way when he gets to him.
I don't think he will. I mean, he's both running for the same team. I think it'll be, and AJ's got real pace. I mean, he's taken another 3 tenths out of him on this lap. Just go back a little bit further. See, Pitcher's scrubbed most of his penalty now. He's taking it. He's doing the right thing in the mid-pack part of the race and taking the penalty away corner by corner. If it's towards the end of the race and you had a small penalty, you're sometimes better off just to let it run. But he's doing the right thing now to just let the penalty scrub.
Tom is closing more and more on Doc Coop each lap, and plus the fact that Doc Coop's awesome now, he's got a 7 tenths of a second penalty as well.
Tom's tyres are fractionally better than Doc Coop's, although Doc Coop is running fractionally lighter on fuel, so
they're very, very similar, aren't they?
Balanced.
I mean, I think the penalties that they've both had over the last couple of laps will start to close that gap up. Phil's a lot heavier on tyres. They're all running the same strategy. Fuel-wise, they're all bang on. Phil's not a massive amount worse on tyres at the moment. His fronts are wearing slightly more, but I'd say Tom's still got 1 point. He's picked up another penalty. That's another 1.8. I thought Tom had nearly scrubbed that, unless I've made a mistake.
I think that's the same penalty. He's busy scrubbing.
I might have got confused with the one that Pitch had scrubbed earlier on. AJ's now, he's really gapped Fifi. He's taken the position and he's already put a second into him on this lap.
He's quick.
So whether he is very
really
quick. And if you have a look as well, AJ's tyres compared to everyone around him, he just doesn't use tyres. He's very, very competitive. And he's gone slightly deep there.
Against me.
He's got slightly deep
tyres. He didn't use tyres against me at Suzuka. That's what benefited him in that race.
In the pits right now.
He's very good on tyres. I mean, he's obviously had the D1 race to get his eye in as well, which will be good. Let's say Phil is in bits. Let's just have a look, see what Phil's going to do. I would imagine now he's going to be on a 3-stop. Yeah, he's going to 3-stop. He can't go to the end of here. I do think the 3-stop is probably the strategy to run. But Tom's now brought this gap down between him and Doc Coop to 2.7, and he's scrubbed a lot of his a lot of his penalty now. He's taken half a second of his penalty off, so this is going to be an interesting battle. But they've now got 17 seconds back to Phil, who has just pitted. I would imagine these three to close right up again when they come out of the last pit stop.
AJ is absolutely slashing into that gap between him and Marco now, and he's pulled 2.5 seconds away from Fifi.
Just like his lap times, low 31s, lap after lap after lap for the last 3 laps. And he's catching Marco next day. He's got it down to 1.5. He's taking tenths every corner. Just have a quick look on Marco's tyres are very, very worn.
Yeah.
So these obviously pulling his time back.
He's going to be coming in. He has to come in soon. His fuel's low. His tyres are hammered.
He's got 1 lap left at best, but I would fully expect him to be in the start. Doc Coop's in. He's picked up, and so's Tom. So they're trying the slight overcut on Phil, or Phil maybe tried the undercut, depending on which way it comes round. So what we'll do is we'll just dive back up to where Phil's now running, and just see where his 2 teammates come out in relation to him.
Doc Coop's just coming out of the pit lane, and as is Tom.
It's going to bring all 3 of them very close together.
They're following the Rod and Pollock strategy, aren't they, of all 3 cars in the centre feed?
Fifi and Marco pitted there as well. Oh, this is Tom's. Phil's come out just in front. Tom popped in right behind him then. It's the right move to make. There's no point in taking a harsh move into that corner on a teammate when you're carrying a second penalty as well.
I've got a funny feeling as well. Doc Coop's taking less fuel on as well, judging by everyone's fuel loads.
They're all running the same. They're all got about half a tank of fuel. Slightly less, maybe a lap's with less, but he could be.
I don't think they're out of danger yet, because AJ just doesn't seem to be using tyres or fuel.
No, he's brought the gap back down now to 3.8, and AJ's tyres are only about 15, maybe 20% worn, so he's still got plenty of life left in them. This is where the action's going to be. He's hovering around 4 seconds ish.
Yeah.
Let's have a jump back in, but he's very, very safe. He's got a 12-second gap now back to Pitch Black, who is had a little bit of a wobble there.
AJ has just boxed.
This, I would imagine, at this point, 13 laps, I think he's going to have to stop again, unless he puts the mediums on and goes full fuel. I think he's still got another stop.
He's light splashed. Not set the soft, so I think he will have another stop.
I would think he'd expect him to come in maybe around lap 22, maybe, and short stint the last set. If he short stints the last set, he's going to have a real challenge, because he's quick enough to gap that. There's an interesting battle here between 8th and 9th at the minute, between Jax and BJ Robbo. BJ Robbo's all over, but he's quite loose on the back end. He's on a fresh set of tyres, so I'd imagine he's only just come out of the pits. Jax is on a set that's about 20% worn, but he's on the mediums.
Yeah, so I mean the softs are naturally going to be faster, aren't they? So I think he said he's got a bit of a loose back end as well there. Oh, he's going down the inside.
Nice move there.
He's done him.
Well,
lovely move.
Jax has got the inside though. If he breaks slightly later, he didn't.
No.
BJ Roberts held it,
done him and is now disappearing.
The tyre grip definitely did play a part there. We'll just move down to the back of the field. Max is in the pits. He's just been lapped by the top 3. You've got Robot running around. Robot's on the mediums, a lot less worn than anyone else that's running the mediums. So he could. I think he's going to maybe do a long stint on the mediums in the middle and a short stint on the softs at the end. The car doesn't look bad. The car looks. It's not performing too, but his times are 35.36s.
I was just keeping an eye on the gap between Pitch Black and Fifi there, thinking, oh, Pitch is going to make a move. He did, straight into the pit lane.
But if we jump back up to the top, Doc Coop's still away. He's 4.4 seconds in front of Phil, who again is still wearing his front tyres a lot more than the others. don't know if it's our drivers, maybe there's a setup difference. But the other two, Doc Cooper and Tom, who's now shed all of his penalty, are a lot closer on tyre wear. But this would be a fantastic result for this team here. And I do think now, I think the battle for the promotion place before this round would have been between Rod and Pollux and this Tag Heuer team. It would have been interesting to see at the end of the season how that battle would have played out.
I would have had a very vested interest in that battle.
I believe you would, Mr. Hammerbush. But this is a dominant performance from the team. I mean, Doc Coop's away. Very clean run. His strategy's been perfect. His driving, we've not really seen him make a mistake. Still, Tom's just at a 31.3 as he takes second down into centre S's. Great move he's made stick there. If Tom's going to maybe gap Phil here a little bit. Just keep an eye on this, because this is, I know it's a front battle, but the two of them, there could be, the one thing you don't want to see is a little bit of argy-bargy or shenanigans between teammates. Oh, they're both running.
I was just going to say, you want teammates ideally to be working together.
I think they will. I think there's a team, after each round of pit stops, they've held the gap to around 14, 15 seconds down to whoever's in fourth. We can just keep an eye on, just watch Phil for a few laps now. We can just see the gap back to AJ slowly coming down. It's come down by nearly half a second this lap. And with 10 laps left,
it's
we
not
could
coming
be on.
down as much as I thought it would do at this stage.
I think they've all got another stop in there, though. It's just whether AJ can just run that a little bit longer. Let's jump back to AJ now and just see what we're running. JJ's running 31s. And the guys are running high 31s, 32s. So it is going to come down. It's come down by nearly a second on this lap. We're now down to 13.5, about 13.4. It's just whether there's enough time left for AJ to make a challenge for certainly for the podium. I think maybe the first place is a little bit past AJ today unless there's any mistakes. But it's going to be one to watch. AJ just set another fastest lap. So I mean, I think this is going to be where it's going to come. He's now pulling. He's sat in very, very safe ground. He can just tick his laps away, time trial it, very, very smooth through the centre S's. He's got a safe gap back to Marco, who is pulling away from Fifi now. Who's got a very safe gap back to BJ Robbo in 7th. Pitch Black 17 seconds behind Robbo now in 8th. And I still think, see, he's fueled possibly till the end, but I think he will have another tyre stop. Pitch has got some damage. I don't know if there's been contact here, but he's got front aero and front wheel damage. It's a little bit difficult to tell whether that's wheel or suspension, but definitely front corner. And Robot's still, he's doing well on this set of mediums. His times have been slightly...
I believe that damage is fractionally slowing down Pitch Black, because Robot is just gaining a little bits of time here and there. Not a lot, but just little bits.
The odd tenths.
Yeah. AJ's got the gap down to 12 seconds now to Phil Babbage. So I really do think he's in for a big chance here.
He is coming. 12.2.
Has Phil had a wobble up front? No, Phil's still steady gap to his teammates. AJ is just running that quick at the moment.
He is. I mean, if you look at his lap times, take his pit stop laps out. He's lap 15 and 16 is in and his out lap. 31.1, 31.3, 31.6, 31.6, 31.7, 31.5. His lap times are so consistent. And I think that also is what helps. I mean, he's purple again for a sector. I think that's also what helps with his tyre wear. He's just lap after lap, just nice and smooth, consistent. And he's now down to 11.7. So in the last 2 laps, he's taken probably best part 2 seconds out of the guys in front.
So I haven't got a lap counter on my screen, so I don't actually know how many laps there is left.
We're on lap 20 at the moment. Phil's tyres are shot. He's probably, I would be very surprised if he's not in this lap. very low on fuel. His front tyres are extremely worn. They're probably 30% worn now. But he's holding the gap to Tom about 2.3.
Doc Coop right very wide out of the final corner.
See the gaps.
I can see him very
Tom's one. He's definitely got the drive now. We'll see if he goes on the inside into the centre. Oh, Doc Coop it looked to me like he pulled over then. Pulled over and nearly. I couldn't work out if he was going to go in the pits there, but he took a very, very inside line, I believe, to allow Tom through, and nearly bit himself on the wall. Tom's starting to gap.
Coming in this lap because we've got the blinky fuel light of doom right now. And Phil Babbage.
Tom could possibly go another lap. His tyres
got the gap down to 9.7. I think he's going to have to come in soon because he's just got the blinky light of doom as well. This could be very close if these all come in at the same time on this lap.
And I think they will. I think they will.
Fifi and BJ Robbo in the pit lane as well.
They've traded places with this top, the Tag Heuer team at the top, all the way through. With Tom's gapped by a second, Tom could possibly have another lap. In these. He's carrying slightly more fuel than the other two, and his tyres are a good chunk better. So there's a possibility of an overcut.
I believe BJ Robbo has jumped Fifi in the pit stops.
He has, and he's already starting to pull a couple of tenths away in sector 1. That'd be an interesting battle to watch because the two of them, they're both good drivers, but they're very, very combative. I think would be the word.
All the Tag Heuer lads are in the pits now. Now this is going to be interesting to see.
I'm just jumping to AJ now. He is all four of them in
as well.
All four of them in. It'll be interesting to see what they come out on. Just jump back up to Phil because Phil's going to be coming out in the front.
It depends who has to take the most fuel on as well. Although BJ Robbo is starting to pull out a slight gap on
AJ's out.
So Tom's come out in first place, Phil in second, Doc Coop in third. AJ's on his way out of the pits now. So the gap's 9.3. So we'll keep an eye on that with six laps left.
I'll keep a very close eye on this, Jeff.
We'll jump back up to Tom because Tom's going to try and gap Phil now and run away with it. He's put 1.7. They all came out of the pits line of stern. He's put 1.8 seconds now into him on the first lap.
Ooh,
Tom's going to try and make a jump.
Side by side, Fifi and BJ Robbo.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Fifi's got a tank slapper on.
And he saved it. That's a brilliant save there from Fifi.
You really need to be careful when you jump off the throttle. BJ Robbo's now picked up some rear damage. And Fifi's got aero damage on the front and left front as well. I'm sure there'll be something looked into that post-race. Is it going to see how much it's going to slow them both down? If we look at Fifi's best lap of 32.8 and BJ Robbo's, it shows on here what his fastest lap is, but I would imagine something similar. It'd be interesting to see how much it slows down. Phil's the one that didn't stop. I don't think Phil stopped on the same time as his teammates, which could. That's promoted AJ to third.
Yeah, AJ is up on the third with an 8-second gap towards second.
Say third, he's only just come through the centre S's. This is going to bring them both out together. He's actually come out behind Phil. He's actually come behind, but I don't expect him to stay in these positions for long. He's already AJ setting purple sector after purple sector. I mean, AJ showed his prominence in the D1 race earlier as well. He's a very, very good driver.
Is he going to make a move down the inside? He's going.
Oh, that was very, very close.
Showed him a wheel there, like I'm here.
I think this place will definitely change. Maybe down into the centre S's. Jan's just put in
slow him down a little bit.
Jan's just put in the stream that it glitched on Phil's pit stop. I thought he came in, but but Jans just said it didn't change Phil's tyres. So that's why Phil's had to take that second stop, which has penalised him and dropped him right back into the clutches of AJ.
Going to be helping his teammates out a little bit, because it will be allowing them to pull a bit of a gap away from.
We've now got
AJ.
Tom's away with this now. If Tom just keeps his calm, sets his laps, takes his positions, and takes his apexes and his braking points, Tom could be away with this now. He's going to have 5 seconds in front of Doc Coop on the first lap.
AJ's down the inside of Phil Babbage.
Into the first part of the centre S's. I'd expect now the one to look at, and I think it might be a little bit optimistic, with 4 laps left, or 5 nearly, you've got 6.2 now to Doc Coop. Phil's going to try and go around the outside. He had to pull back in. I think there might have been a little tap there. But I think AJ will slowly run away with this. This is good tight racing. This is what OFR is all about. I thought Phil might just show him a wheel on the inside there. This is way, but I think by battling, I think with the amount AJ's got to defend, there's a little bit of contact there from Phil on AJ's rear, and AJ's picked up some damage.
He's got some aero damage.
He has. And Phil's got away with that. There's no damage there to Phil's car, but AJ's picked up some rear damage. We'll keep an eye and see how much that hinders him. But Phil's all over him now. It's obviously made a difference to the handling of AJ's car.
Phil is all over AJ like ashes on a buffet table.
It's now whether AJ can. If I was AJ, I'd just sit in behind Phil, which it doesn't look like he's going to do. No, he's up the inside.
He's going around the inside of this. It's a brilliant battle.
I think Phil gave him the place back there for the contact. He certainly looked to go very, very wide, but clean into the first part of the centre S's.
He's all over the back of him again.
There was a bit of a case of there's your outside door. He definitely showed him the outside there, but he's held it. It's just whether the damage to the rear of AJ's car is going to penalise him enough so he can't brake. But the gap's still coming down to Doc Coop.
It shows how fast these two drivers are, that even in a battle, they're closing that gap up to the cars in front.
I think now with that tangle and a little bit of damage that AJ's got, it's going to be a big ask in the last 3.5 laps now to pull that gap back.
I'm not writing them off yet, mind. I'm really not writing them off yet.
It's down to 3.7.
He's starting to gap Phil a little bit more now. If you can break the toe of Phil, get himself some nice clean air.
What's going to help is Doc Coop's now got a 0.4 second penalty, which could in real terms cost him maybe 3/4 of a second. And when the gap's down to 3.2, I think Tom's gapping now. Tom's away. Tom has just set the fastest lap of the race with a 31 flat.
Wow!
Which at this stage of the race is a lap. I know they're running on slightly lower fuel on fresh tyres, but a 31 flat is a quick lap round here.
Tell you what, Phil's all over the back of him again. Just keeping that pressure on, see if you can force a mistake. That's what I would be doing anyway.
I think AJ's got a cool head though. AJ's shown it in his races that
it's smooth as anything.
See, the gap's hovering now. It's at 5.6. I think we could be looking at the first 2 places being decided, barring any mistakes, and the main battle now being for that last place on the podium. Because the gap between AJ and Phil is only hovering between 0.5 and a second. I think they've both got areas of the track that's slightly quicker, or maybe there's areas of the track that the aero disadvantage that AJ's now got is starting to hinder him, and the Porsche behind him has got areas that's going to be slightly stronger. Pitch is back in the pits. It's for tyres. It's a late stop. I don't know if there's maybe damage as well. Robots in the points in 9th. They're picking up, I believe, 2 points for that. Jack's in 10th and Max in 11th. Max looks to have had a difficult run today. I think Max is one of the newer drivers in a new team that only came in in the last round to take the place of
Robots in the
R&P
pit
when they
lane.
moved up. Rowe was a very late pit stop, I think, on the mediums. He's run his fuel. I believe the thought was maybe for Robot to put the mediums on and go to the end of the race, but it was definitely a fuel stop there because he had a very, very blinky red light. Pitch is now in a safe place in 8th. It's 27 back to Jax and 31 behind Fifi, who is 12.5 behind BJ Robbo, who's
like
now within a second of Marco. There's another battle here now. AJ's just gapped. They're going to come up on Jax. Hopefully Jax will move out of the way. See if he blazed the white flags. He did. Jax has gone very wide. There's a little bit of contact. He maybe didn't realise that AJ was a driver that was lapping him there, but they're both now through. But it has given 10th place just a little double to cap up. I think Tom's got a very, very safe drive now. He's now 9 seconds in front of Doc Coop.
AJ's within 5 seconds of Doc Coop now, though.
I think
4.8.
Going on to the last lap, it's a big ask.
It's
Big ask. So we got a final lap now, so Tom's got a 9-second lead over Doc Coop, who's 4.7 back to AJ, so he's still pulling it back in, and he's gapping Phil now. But I think it's just a little too late, and maybe the aero damage has just taken the edge off.
Yeah, you can tell there's a marked difference in his times that he was running before.
Definitely.
To where he is now.
But you've got another interesting battle here. 5th and 6th between Marco and BJ Robbo. The Corvette West car is a stunning looking car.
I got a dreadful camera cutaway just as the move was made there.
Too wide. This is going to be the battle of the last lap. But I also want to see where. Let's jump back up to Tom now.
Phil is all over the back of AJ again.
AJ's off!
AJ's lost it!
AJ's off and he's hit the wall!
Never!
Oh, there's massive damage. Now the thing is, I think luckily with 21 seconds back to Marco, 4th is safe, but we didn't quite see whether there was whether there was any contact there that caused that. Let's jump back up to Tom now. Tom's going to take a very good win.
I was keeping an eye on it.
Very good win.
I didn't see any contact. It looked like he might have just dipped a wheel.
So you've got Tom who pulled it out to 11 seconds now. Doc Coop will be next across. And then Phil will take that 3rd. A fantastic result there for the Tag Her team. Jan's commenting in the chat as well. It's a shame for AJ. You're right, Jan, it was very good. There was going to be a very good last lap battle between the two of them there. AJ's going to be in a safe 4th.
He's definitely going to end 4th, even though that gap is tumbling down, but he's got it.
Such a shame there for AJ there. The gap between Marco and Phil is going to be Marco in 5th, BJ Robbo in 6th, and then we're just waiting for Fifi to come across the line. There's a gap back to these two now. Great win for the top 3. Great win.
That was absolutely amazing. That last few laps between AJ and Phil, that was one of the best battles I've seen in all the time I've been watching OFR.
Such a shame that it's just maybe the aero damage just meant the back went a little bit light, and like I say, he dropped a wheel off curb and just lost that time there. Fifi's coming round out the final corner, who's got massive damage as well, so maybe Fifi's had an off.
Oh, this could be close.
Maybe. I think he's hopefully just got him. Oh, he's going to take him on the line. Oh, the gap between them, 0.1 of a second.
Wow.
And then back down to Jax in 9th and Robot in 10th, picking up the final point, and Max in 12th. There was some great racing there. Fantastic result for Tom. Jan will be very pleased with the result for his drivers there. And Castle's just put he believes that to be the first podium lockout in OFR history. So the Tag Her team this year in Division 2 are record setting. And Smalley, who I believe is a fan of OFR and All Things Penguins has asked for no penguin jokes. We won't have one for Shane, because Shane used to love penguin jokes, but unfortunately he's no longer racing with us in OFR.
Shane did really like a penguin joke every now and then.
He really did like the penguin jokes. Penguins, obviously, one of the only birds that can't fly, but then they won't be able to, with them being a chocolate biscuit. So that's it for Division 2 race from Interlagos. There's a sun setting on the track. Some good races, some good battles in both divisions today, and it'll be interesting to see when the places come out later at what it's done to the overall. Appreciate Ash and Rod joining us today, and hopefully we'll be back next week to give you some more commentaries on the Division 2 race in OFR. There's Division 3 in F1 on tonight at 7 o'clock, if anybody fancies watching that as well. And take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.